In recent debates on Arabic Al Jazeera TV, they keep referring to Huntington's Clash of Civilizations statement. What is the story behind this, and are we actually having a clash of civilizations?
Clash of civilizations is a theory proposed by political scientist Samuel P. Huntington that people's cultural and religious identities will be the primary source of conflict in the post-Cold War world. The theory was originally formulated in 1993 in a Foreign Affairs article titled The Clash of Civilizations. The term itself was first used by Bernard Lewis in an article in September 1990 issue of the Atlantic Monthly titled The Roots of Muslim Rage. Huntington argues that the widespread Western belief in the universality of the West values and political system is naive, and that continued insistence on democratization and such universal norms will only further antagonize other civilizations. He identifies a major shift of economic, military, and political power from the West to the other civilizations of the world, most significantly to what he identifies as the two challenger civilizations, scenic, Chinese, and Islam. Specifically, he believes that China's goals are to reassert itself as a regional hegemon. Thus, the rise of China poses one of the most significant problems and the most powerful long-term threat to the West, as Chinese cultural assertion clashes with the American desire for the lack of a regional hegemony in East Asia. Huntington argues that the Islamic civilization has experienced a massive population explosion, which is fueling instability both on the borders of Islam and in its interior, where fundamentalist movements are becoming increasingly popular. Manifestations of what he terms the Islamic resurgence include the 1979 Iranian Revolution and the First Gulf War. Perhaps the most controversial statement Huntington made in the Foreign Affairs article was that Islam has bloody borders. He also argues that civilizational conflicts are particularly prevalent between Muslims and non-Muslims, identifying the bloody borders between Islamic and non-Islamic civilizations. Ladies and gentlemen, on several occasions, I had pointed out how vitally important words are. Huntington uses words that sound very powerful and significant, but are in fact not the correct ones as used in the context of his theory. Please remember that clash of civilizations is only a theory and is not a fact. Let us now explore his theory and the words he is using. Civilizations are not based on theology or religion, although they may be an important component of it. Can we speak of a Jovian civilization, for example? Maybe a Confucian or Buddhist civilizations. What about a Christian civilization? If so, which one? Coptic? Catholic? Greek Orthodox? Maybe Protestant. How about a pagan civilization? Will that be Astartean, Zeusian, Dionysian? Since we cannot use any of the above, why then do Huntington and others speak of Islamic civilization? We have demonstrated that there never was such a civilization. There were, on the other hand, civilizations under the sword of Muhammadan Islam. Let us, for argument's sake, assume there is such an Islamic civilization. Then, where is it based? What are its borders? What is its language? Its capital? Its culture? Its people? Is it Iraqi? Maybe Afghani or even Somali? How about Kurdish? One cannot name a civilization based on religious beliefs, especially since most peoples throughout history changed their beliefs. Islamic civilization is an oxymoron, because no freedom exists under fundamentalist Muhammadan Islam, thus eliminating the possibility of its followers ever evolving intellectually, spiritually, or artistically. The modern Muhammadan Muslim states that exist today prove our points perfectly. We hear a sickening number of times about so-called Islamic rage. What does this imbecile mantra mean? Why not Christian rage or pagan rage? What about Hindu or Buddhist rage? Why should only so-called Muslims have rage? What is this Islamic rage about? Who is attacking the Muslims when we see on television and read in the news on a daily basis that it is the followers of Muhammad who are attacking almost everybody else across the globe, such as the Twin Towers in America, the subways of London, the trains of Madrid, the civilians of Kashmir, Thailand, Philippines, Kenya, Somalia, Turkey, Argentina, Holland, Iraq, Afghanistan, and Morocco, just to name a few among 100 more. It is an obscene distortion of facts, history, morality, and justice to speak of Islamic rage when they are invariably the aggressors and victimizers of all so-called unbelievers, 80% of humanity. It is us who should be in rage. We are, after all, the victims of their aggression, starting with Muhammad 1400 years ago. China is and will continue to be a superpower in this 21st century, and the whole world should take note. Here we can speak of a civilization. It is, after all, one of the oldest. Please note, we do not call it Confucian civilization. I completely disagree with Huntington's very negative conclusions regarding China. She will of course assert her dominance in Asia. She will do her best to have stable and secure borders. Her leaders have shown a remarkable ability to adapt to the changing circumstances of China socially, economically, and militarily. Their leaders are very practical people who are allowing for a rising and prosperous middle and entrepreneurial class to exist, but under strict control. Huntington is wrong again to believe that China and Islam can coexist, especially since Mohammedan Islam looks at the Chinese as kuffar. Of course, for the sake of expediency, they will cooperate at certain points, but the objective of Mohammedan Islam is crystal clear, not only for the Chinese people, but for all of humanity, and that is to convert them, to subjugate them, or to slaughter them. I agree totally with Huntington's Islam has bloody borders. They have had them since Muhammad 1400 years ago. They will continue to have them for as long as they believe in Muhammad's Quran. What we have on the world stage is a clash of religious beliefs, and most assuredly not a clash of civilizations. It is a clash between Muhammadan Islam and everybody else on planet Earth who does not believe as they do. A clash that Muhammad unilaterally declared in his Quran against all so-called unbelievers, be they Arab or not. A clash that continues unabated 14 centuries later by the modern jihadi followers of Muhammad in the name of Allah and his messenger Muhammad. A clash that will bring death and destruction to tens of millions of people if the world community does not wake up very soon to the reality of this threat and its forthcoming disaster.